Welcome back to another week of the 13 Sports Coaches Show. I'm Katie Marr, this week joined by Centralia girls basketball head coach Dusty Thompson. Coach, thanks for joining me this week.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And the big news, the reason we got you here is because you're coming off a perfect season that ended in a 1A D1 state championship. Just kind of describe how you're feeling right now.
Finally getting to enjoy it a little bit. I said it's a long trip out there, a long trip back. We got there Tuesday, got home at like 12:30 Saturday night. So I'll be honest, yesterday I laid around and didn't do a whole lot. So finally today, being able to enjoy it, read some articles about it, go back and watch the film a little bit, some things that I wanted to see. But yeah, just really starting to savor what the girls have accomplished this year.
Yeah, and you guys, as we were just talking about before we started recording, had to go a bit out there to Dodge City for this, but the Centralia faithful, I imagine, showed up in some pretty good numbers. What was the community support like?
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, they had a pep rally actually at our hotel Saturday before we left. And I said it felt like every day we played, they had to send off the first 2 days and a pep rally the last day. And it felt like every day we were there, more people showed up for each game. And it's exciting for the girls to see people travel that far and want to watch them play.
Yeah, what does that mean coming from a small town that they're so dedicated to watching your team go on this run?
Oh, a lot. We had a pep rally before we left last Tuesday, in I think it was 1975. The Centralia girls that year won it, and they had the grand state back then. They finished second, and there were actually 5 or 6 ladies off of that team that were here for the pep rally. The 2000 team won it. So they won it 50 years ago, 25 years ago, and there were some ladies off of both teams that actually showed up to the pep rally last week and talked in front of everybody for the girls and stuff. So it's not just the community that's here. We had letters from people that don't live here anymore, that wanted to be a part of it and stuff. So, it means a lot to the girls to be able to see all those people and what it's meant for so long. And the 1975 group, one of the ladies actually talked about how the program started, when they were in high school and stuff. So it was neat to get the whole experience for the girls.
That's awesome. And obviously there was a lot of hype around you guys going into the state tournament because you were coming in undefeated, winning the Twin Valley League, a perfect 12-0 in league play. How hard is it to go undefeated in a season? Was it nerve-wracking like every game?
It is, it's tough. And I say I don't get nervous a whole lot because you just think that you're prepared, and we understand that, yes, we want to be perfect, but in this league, any night that you don't have your best, somebody has a chance of beating you. And I think it makes it that much easier to show up night in and night out and know that you have to give your best performance. And I think it helps in the long run with the state tournament as well.
Yeah, and you guys play in the Twin Valley League, which is year after year one of the best in smaller classifications. How tough was your league this year?
Oh, tough. I think 1A Division II, first and second place in the state tournament, both come out of the league. 2A, second place, come out of the league. It was tough all season. There wasn't even nights where I felt the girls played their best and we may have made some things look easy. There was nothing simple or easy about any of those games all season long.
Yeah, and being the coach who brings a state title back, first time winning it since 2016, bringing that back to Centralia, just what did that mean to you as a coach? I know coaches don't like to talk about themselves a lot, but obviously it meant something to you.
Oh, yeah, it does. I was an assistant coach in 22 when they got beat by 2, and had a chance at the end of the ball game, and to see how it affected them and the things that just the emotion they had then, and to watch the seniors this year that were freshmen then step on the floor and understand what that feeling was like and not wanting to be a part of that again, just for the girls to watch them continue to night in and night out step on the floor and do everything they could to win ball games is probably the most important thing to me.
Yeah, and it seemed like in this game against Little River, every possession was important, and the person leading the way for you guys was Owen Dieters, 29 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Just she's a senior. Just talk about her time there at Centralia and what she means to this program.
Oh, she's been great from the time she was a freshman till now. She's always been what I consider a leader on the floor for the girls, and I'm willing to listen to what she's got to say, because there's things that I said, she may not be the fastest girl on the floor, but she looks a step quicker than a lot of girls just because of her understanding of the game. So, you know, if she's got ideas, I want to hear what she's got to say. And, you know, we've talked to it throughout the years, you know, about little things we want to do and stuff. But yeah, having her and her ability not only to make plays when we need them and want to make those plays, but her ability to make everybody else around her that much better because of the way that she holds herself on the floor has just been awesome.
Yeah. Who else on this team would you say really stepped up just all season long, or especially in the postseason, maybe?
Oh, you know, Tatum Kramer's another one, another senior that you know, played as a freshman, come off the bench, and watching her confidence the last 4 years build and where she is now, you know, with what she can do on the floor and stuff has been great. Our underclassmen, you know, Tava Gibbs, Josie Haverkamp, Hayden Kramer, Cora Thompson, all of them, you know, Keelan Rippey. I said we can go, depending on the night, we can go 8, 9, 10 girls deep. You know, we've got another senior, Isabel Haverkamp, that may not play a ton some nights, but what she brings day in and day out to practice and everything as a whole, just watching them competitively, I think in practice, make each other better every single day is probably just as important as anything they've done on the floor this year.
Yeah, and we say all the time the energy in the air is just different when we enter March, the postseason in general. Did you feel a different energy around your team once sub-state and then the state tournament started?
This group's been that way pretty much all season. You know, we got off the bus, I think before the semifinal game at Dodge and walking in, a couple of the reporters were walking in with us, and our girls are singing and dancing, and the speakers going outside and off the bus, and they're like, you know, I don't know how you get those girls that relaxed. And in all honesty, it's the way they've been all year. You know, yeah, I think there was a little more pep in their step at the state tournament and stuff, but you know, just their excitement for each other and the things they've been able to do this year, I think it's been there from day one.
Yeah. Is that kind of a practice how you play mindset?
I think so. You know, this is a group that I really truly believe that the more worried they get, probably the tighter they play, you know, and that's a lot of people. But this group, you know, people say all the time, you practice like you play like you practice. And, you know, there's times in practice that I felt like we had to allow them to be goofy and do those things so that they could stay relaxed and not just worry about the game and being undefeated and who they're playing, but, you know, just for themselves to be able to relax all season long, I think was big for them.
Yeah. And for anyone who's watching, who wasn't able to be there, can you kind of paint a picture of what the moment was like when final buzzer went off and you guys were state champs?
Uh, Emotional. You know, I think, and I say that watching the girls, like I said, you know, those seniors were there as freshmen. Owen's sister was a senior that year. They lost by 2 in 2022. And, you know, knowing how bad she wanted it then for them and the rest of the team and watching them this year all season long, and especially her step up in situations where we had to have something, you know, just, I think I say emotional, but probably the relief of realizing that the goal that had been there all year, they've finally gotten there.
Yeah, for sure. And like we said, Owen's a senior, some other talented seniors graduating. What does the future of your program look like? Who are you looking forward to stepping up next year?
It looks good. Like I said, you know, we lose 3 seniors, we bring in 5 or 6 freshmen, and you know, the underclassmen, we've got a couple of juniors, we've got 4 or 5 sophomores, we've got some freshmen. You know, I said we lost, I think the JV lost 1 game by 1 point this year. The C team went undefeated, the varsity went undefeated, you know, and just the competitiveness that those girls bring every day to practice, I think is just awesome to watch how they work with each other, but they make each other better at the same time.
Yeah, and I do believe this applied to you guys as well. Keisha made a bit of a change this year to kind of change up who was in certain sub-states, so teams of equal strength would have a better chance of getting there to state, not getting knocked out. Did you like that change?
I do. You know, I think it made for our sub-state, the state tournament, I think it made everything a little more competitive. You know, not that there aren't teams that didn't make it that don't deserve to be there still, obviously, but you know, I think from top to bottom, the competitiveness was definitely better this year.
Yeah. What would you say about just the talent that is in these smaller classifications every year? A lot of these were really close, gritty games, not just in your championship game, but a lot of others, just smaller high school basketball. Just how big was it this year?
Oh, I think it's big. You know, we were undefeated, but we played 5, I think 5 3A teams this year and stuff, you know, and to see our girls compete against them and just see that even small town basketball, you know, if you get the right group of girls, they can step on the floor mentally and play with anybody in the state, I think.
Yeah. And so now you guys got the, don't want to add pressure, but going back to back might already be on some of the juniors' minds. Just how are you going to approach the off season and getting your next team ready for that?
I think for us, it'll be having a discussion, what we did this year, what those girls did this year is going to have to change a little bit next year. Like you said, Owen's been a great leader. We've got to find that leader. We've got to find, I think she averages about 18 points a game. So we got to find somebody that can step up and score a little bit. And, so I think just buying into that what you did this year was awesome and it got us where we needed to be this year. But next year, your role's probably going to have to change a little bit if we want to be in the exact same position.